Alrighty then, we're going to talk about the lady stuck in Dubai in Houston from Houston. And first we're going to talk about Carlee Russell, a young lady from Hoover, Alabama, or who went missing in Hoover, Alabama, and said that she was missing. She seen a missing kid walking on the freeway. And then she went missing, and then she popped back up, and more than likely she went, she was lying about her whereabouts, because she was getting her box popped, probably allegedly. And we have a lot of them, fake, what they call them, dazzles in distress. We have a history of women lying in America and probably around the world about what's going on for one reason or another. And a lot of times they tend to lie about sexual acts that happen. That's what they do. They lie about sexual acts that go on, and they don't want to get embarrassed. I mean, Brian Banks had an affair. What's his name? Brian Banks, Sean Oakman. Brian Banks was a high school athlete that had collegiate dreams, and the lady lied on him and said he did something, and then she admitted over the phone years later that she lied because she didn't want her parents to know about it. Out of her situations about girls, agreed to consensual sex, and they parents catch them and make them lie to the police about what's going on men. And then a lot of these women that lie about what's going on or lie on men, they don't get penalized. They might get a little probation. I mean, look at what happened with Travis Rudolph. This woman sat there and lied, and he had to delete a guy, one of her brothers, and she didn't get held accountable. She didn't get charged or nothing. Her brothers didn't get charged for coming to this man's house. They waived his right. They took his right to stand his ground, so he had to sit in jail for a year and lose his right. So at the end of the day, y'all want to know why men are becoming more feminine and men are becoming more weak, and they don't build men the way they used to? It's the laws. While y'all get slaps on the wrist and y'all get assistance and food stamps and y'all get all this money, and you get all these assistant programs and all this type of stuff, of course these women feel like a boss chick. And I'm gonna talk about Ebony K. Williams too. I did the short on that. I'm gonna get to a video about Ebony K. Williams too, y'all. Don't worry about it. It's coming. About why she said with black women should use sperm donors and be single mothers by choice. We gonna spit on that. Don't worry, it's coming. Hold on, it's coming. And a lot of men are choosing to pull back, and that's what we talking about. Protecting their seed. They choosing to pull back and just pay workers for, it's just trick off of women. They choosing to pull back, stay at home, order pizza, tell y'all Netflix and chill. Don't want to take y'all on dates no more. Y'all turn around. Y'all laughing at guys online, running y'all, because women can't shut up, running their mouth online, talking about how they jipping guys for free food by going on dates and guys they not interested in. And guys just like, guys like, okay, cool. Either you gonna come to my crib on the first night, or we gonna room on the first night, or I'm gonna give you this money. And trust and believe me, all women are paid for play. They not gonna admit it. This is why they tell you, oh, I need my nails done, or little foo need a Happy Meal before we go out. They all pay for play. If they really like you, I mean, they'll mess with you, but hey, like Coach Greg Adams say, free punani costs the most. And that's another day I'll break this down, but let's get into it. Police share new details about the disappearance of Carlee Russell, the woman who went missing in Alabama after calling 911 about a child on the interstate. It said police share new details Wednesday after the Carlee Nicole Russell, the Alabama woman who went missing 49 hours last week, at calling 911 to report a toddler walking alone on the side of the highway. Now, if Miss Carlee was a little bit smart, I think it takes 48 or 72 hours for you to report a person missing. But hey, just go missing after for 47 hours and come back to 48 hours and say, hey, yo, whatever. But a lot of these women, they don't want to be exposed for, the things that they do in private by their family. I had a girl tell me that one time. I parked in front of her car to let her back to, to the crib. She like pull up one, and she, she hooked your boy up. And she said, well, my family don't know I'm like this. So could you pull up a couple houses? And it's like that. And they be straight like that. But you know what's so funny about it? The women in the family know. They know. Because they used to be them ones, and they know all the signs of being a little hot in the pants, as they would say back in the day. And then I guarantee you this is all that was, and they're not gonna expose her. It said the Durzis told reporters, is that her last name? I don't know who that is. Durzis told reporters no one reported a missing child. Investigators have found no evidence of one. The chief said the officer has been unable to verify most of Russell's initial statement, though they want to interview her again. Russell's mother says she believes her daughter was abducted before she returned home 2 days later on foot. Carlee has given detectives her statement, and hopefully they are pursuing her abductor. Talitha Robson Russell said in the statement. Durzis, whoever told reporters that the investigator have learned Carlee Russell took items from work, stopped at the restaurant to get food, and brought snacks at Target before she went missing. He also spoke about the web searches on her phone leading up to her disappearance. CNN reached out to her parents for comments. So apparently, she took items from work. So she basically was going to somebody's house, going to a dual house, because if you go into a hotel, you ain't got to take items. You ain't got to take, I think they say she took tissue and some stuff like that. So she must have been going to a dude's house that was struggling. And a lot of times, I don't know how old this woman is. I must have missed that part. A lot of times she was messing with somebody young, didn't have nothing in the house, because a grown man gonna have essential things in the house. Russell was driving Thursday to her way home from Hoover from her job in Birmingham, about 10 miles north. It's in the same area. Familiar with the area a little bit. When she called 911 and said she stopped in her car to check on the child. Then it called family member who lost contact with her, though the line remained open, according to Hoover Police Department. Russell spoke one time to investigators. Police said haven't spoken to Russell since just after she returned home Saturday. Now maybe they want to say some mental distress. Durzis, I guess that's the police officer, told reporters the investigator she got out of the vehicle Thursday to check on the child. And the man came out of the trees and mumbled that he was checking on the baby. She claimed that the man then picked her up and she went screaming, he said. According to the chief, Russell told police the man made her go over the fence and she was forced in the car. The next thing she remembers is she being in the trailer of an 18-wheeler. Sound like that Halle Berry movie on Netflix. She stated that the male was with a female who, however, she never saw the female, only hearing her voice. She told detectives she could hear the baby crying. She out here lying. Russell told detectives that her abductor had orange hair with the bald spot. She told them at one point she was able to escape the 18-wheeler, but was caught again and put in a car. She claimed that she was blindfolded and tied up because the captor said they did not want to leave an impression on her wrist. She said that they took her into a house, made her get undressed. She believes they took pictures of her, but does not remember them having any physical sexual contact. Russell told police that the next day she woke up and the woman fed her cheese crackers and played with her hair. He said the chief said Russell told police she was unable to escape after being put back in the vehicle. She said that she ran through the woods coming out near her home. Okay, that she was that close to home. Russell came home about 10:45 Saturday, returned on foot, according to Hoover. Authorities said she was taken to the hospital, treated, and released. Detective wanted to speak to her again. The family has stated to us that they didn't think that in a mental state right now because of the trauma and the incident that she's not ready to. She need to go to jail. All right. She definitely fought for her life. All that boy. The phone reveals a variety of searches. So it says that police found Carlee Russell's phone Thursday. Nice to get rid of it, wouldn't it be? They discovered web search include: do you have to pay for an Amber Alert? How to take money from a register without being caught. So then again, she stole from the job. Derza said searches for bus tickets from Birmingham to Nashville and for the movie Taken about the abduction were also in her history. So, 9 times out of 10, and then they found their personal items at the restaurant and so on. Okay. This just scream like either if she wasn't going to get her box knocked off, this just screams for attention. She wasn't getting attention. And one thing you learn about black women, they need attention. And you don't get them attention, if you don't get them attention, then it's a problem. And she probably she probably looking for attention, or she probably looking to get that box knocked. Simple as that. No two ways around it. She probably was going out and getting, this is what young girls do. I remember this one girl in our neighborhood, dude. They had a trap house when I was like in high school, just graduated. They had a trap house around the corner. This girl ran away from home, and apparently her parents was looking for it, and she at the trap house next door, getting ran through by every trap star in the neighborhood. Her parents is looking for it. Women do stuff like that, bro. Young girls do things for attention. They love to go. They love to go experiment. They love to go get ran through. You know what I'm saying? This is what they do. Not saying this is her case, but this is what they do. Or they need attention. They run away. They feel like people don't love you. Grown women have these emotional issues too. These just don't stop after this. Other grown women have these emotional issues too. They do. Believe it or not, they have these issues where they always, you get a woman that don't like to be alone and can't be alone and all that, bro, man, run away. Don't got no friends, run away. Don't even put yourself through that stress. The mental issues and all that, man, I'll get away. Because once you get pregnant or once you kind of, do your, shoot up the club, even if you don't get her pregnant, that sperm go like to her brain or some shit they were saying like that. So, like I said, either she was doing this for attention or she was going to get her snot box rocked or she was just stealing from work just to get the hell out of there. But it sounded like she stole some money to get some bus fare to go, to go get her roll on, in my opinion. And, this is nothing new in society. She will get she might not get a slap on the wrist because she black, but if she, if she truly lied about this, she need to be in jail and she need to be made an example of. But let's talk about this woman in Dubai, right? Because I'm gonna go ahead and combine these videos because we're gonna be on to the next tomorrow. So it said a Houston area woman was jailed in Dubai because she yelled in public, according to her family and friends. She's in jail for one reason and one reason alone. She raised her voice. Community activist Quail Nail X told Houston Next station KRIV. In that country, a female is not allowed to raise her voice. If she raises her voice, it's punishment by jail time. So it says here, Young Allen, apparently she a vlogger too, and she a truck driver, was detained in the UAE, United Arab Emirates, after she yelled back at a very aggressive individual, a young man there who was screaming at her. Her mother, Tina Baxter, told KRIV. Allen was visiting Dubai when she was involved in a car crash with a friend's rental, and this is her right there. Um, she said Allen reportedly went to the rental company to retrieve her ID and credit card and other items, but was told she could only get her property back if she paid the undisclosed fine. So she probably rented a car for a boyfriend and he crashed it and they had her stuff on file. And this ninja probably back at home talking about I'm never going back. That's when she screamed in exchange. Stream exchange took place. The screaming exchange took place, leading to Allen's detention from her mother told KRIV. A legal expert shared his advice on Americans who are planning to leave. Well, we already know this. It's been a very emotional. Oh, I don't care about none of that. This is what she looked like. This is what we already know. Everybody know you can't go over there thinking you ludicrous and you about to act the fool. You know, you crashed that man car, you put it in your name. So now you got it. Now you got to live. Now you got to live with. Now you got to live with that. Pay the fine. You went all the way overseas. Get that ninja to pay the fine. Get your friend who did that, in my opinion, to pay the fine and keep it moving. But you got to know women don't have rights over there like that. Don't you see the women over in America? They still covered up. Now, a lot of them Middle Eastern women that found out they got American rights, and that means that they can't get stoned or they can't get killed and checked because they can call the police and they protected over there. So a lot of them getting Americanized, a lot of them getting sexualized, and the ones that's not getting sexualized, this is not to the point where they're they scared to do it. They scared from a point that they won't have financial flexibility or financial support because they will buy their sisters and their mothers and their family will bond together, pay for lavish weddings, pay for luxury cars. They stick together. So a lot of ones that stick there, some of them still believe in family values, and some of them don't really care about that. They just like having the financial security. But some of them, sometimes they get finesse and they meet a net. They love black guys. Trust me, on the low, they love them. Sometimes they'll meet and they love white guys too. I could tell you a story off air about that. They used to be at the community college getting popped off. They used to be at the plant getting popped off. And then one thing about it is they suck at hiding it. Any woman do. When women got feelings for you, dude, they will stare you down, and they can't hide it. They can't help but tell somebody about their sex capade. Which you got to understand, you go over there and you supposed to be a virgin by the time your husband marry you and bust you open and he don't see blood. They got programs over there which they will sew your hymen back up so your husband won't know. So they over there living foul too. Some of them. That's just female nature. So they don't even have the right. They don't have any rights over there. And you know different when you go over there. You supposed to cover up. You supposed to abide by their law. You can't overspeak nobody. It's sacred land. But y'all talking about going over to Dubai. I'm living my best life and don't even know what you're doing. Don't forget, the guy from the United Kingdom got caught with CBD oil and he ended up getting 20 years. And they tried to negotiate his release. This was a couple years ago. He got 20 years in a UAE jail for CBD oil. And people talking about Brittany Griner. American law don't matter there. They can do some money exchanging, but it's going to take a lot of money. And I think they say she's facing like 2 years in prison for that. And all that yelling and screaming that you do here, think about that. What's your natural instinct if you can yell and scream? You can call Comcast. You can call Houston Energy, whatever they call it. You can go to the turkey leg hut and they don't get your order right or they charge you for something. You yell and scream. That's your natural impulse. What you do when somebody giving you a hard time for customer service? What most men do? They get a phone to their girl and their girl find a way to get an extension. Sometimes it's civil and sometimes it's by yelling or it's by yelling or screaming. That's the American women's natural instinct in America. That's their natural instinct. Especially with men and we living in the country, you know, where they don't respect, man. You think you can flip that switch on and off? Even if she was aware of the rules, it's her natural instinct. They hate men. I keep telling you that. But the women over there probably hate men too. But they already know. They get out of line. They get lined up. They know about this, you know. Unless I heard a story about a British woman or a Sweden woman. She went over to Africa with her husband and ended up like getting with a some type of warrior, a Tanzanese warrior, Zulu warrior, whatever. He put it on her. She ended up leaving her husband, moving her business to Africa, getting pregnant by this African dude. And then she started the story and they told her that one of the guys who had to work in the store and he was lazy and she fired him. He came back, like did some physical things to her. And her husband, kind of, checked her, popped her up a little bit. And she went to the police station and they told her, go apologize to your husband. And she had to give, the family owed her 3 goats and she owed the family 2 goats for the misunderstanding. She couldn't fire him. Women don't have rights there. No matter how much money you got, no matter what your status is, boss being all that stuff, you got to understand that is westernized thinking. That's westernized. That all that we got a voice and all that. You go to Africa like that, they talking about how Tanzanese, black women trying to be, or American women, black women in particular, trying to be passport women, and they finding out the hard way. They going over there getting abused because they didn't do their research on their values. Y'all are not men. All that how you treat us in the West is not due because y'all alpha women or y'all dominant women. It's due because our hands are tied behind our back due to law, due to daddy government, due to food stamps, due to all this. They want you. That's the number one sign that a civilization is failing. Is gender war. Females are not meant to lead. No matter how much y'all think y'all the bosses and all that, unhandicapped men in the West and see how the world would be. Unhandicapped men, take away food stamps, take away daddy government, Medicaid, and all that other assistance y'all got, and make it a living playing field and see how y'all be bowing that man's feet. Y'all will see more sex workers than y'all ever seen in y'all life. And it's going on right now. Y'all just don't know it. A lot of girls that y'all whining and dining, you dropping them off, and they going to get that peace leave to somebody else for money. I talk to women, bro. Women will they get if you comfortable talking to women, and most of it is just listening and being able to recall, because they will test you and they will open up and tell you everything. Dudes out here offering $200, $300, $400 to them to bust it open, and you think a lot of them ain't taking it? I know some real solid women that's considering it. A lot of women out here is selling it. It's that bad. Y'all just don't see it right now. And if they all selling it, even even these women that like women, they gotta have it. They gotta have it. I keep telling y'all that. They still gotta get broken off on low key tip. So these women going around here being boss chicks, and they going on vacation sponsored by old wrinkled men or men they don't want to be seen with. Once again, she's not out your league. She's out your pay range, like Coach Greg Adams say. Or you're not willing to pay for it. And there's still some good women out here who got values and all that for sure. They still few far in between. Or usually they not the ones that you're interested in. But that's all I got, man. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you girls and guys think.